Hello and welcome to the class, my dear students. Today in this class, we will be discussing about the soil resources of India, the types of soil that we find in India. The earlier class, we already have discussed about alluvial soil. So this class, we will be discussing about black soil, red soil and laterite soil. So first of it, let's take black soil. Black soil, as the name itself suggests, that its color is black. Black because it is formed by the weathering of lava rocks, or you can also call it basaltic rocks. These black soils are very good in productions of cotton and hence is also known as cotton soil. In South India, it's locally known as regur. These black soils are highly fertile soil as because they are fine-grained soil which are being brought by the agents of weathering. They are formed in the place of origin as when the rock breaks and hence are also known as in situ soil. These black soils, as we can see, as its characteristics, very importantly, it retains moisture for a long time. That means it has high water retention capacity. And since the soil has high water retention capacity, it seems to be quite clayey. The clay percentage is quite almost 60% in the soil. The soil is rich in iron, potash, lime, calcium, alumina, and lacks in nitrogen, humus, and phosphate. These are its chemical composition. Since it lacks in humus, that is its organic matter, so this is also one of the reasons that its fertility is slightly lesser than as compared to alluvial soil. But in terms of its growing conditions and in terms of agricultural benefits, we always see that it's highly fertile. So there are various types of crops which can be grown here, like cotton, rice, wheat, millet, sugarcane, and so on, even tobacco. So it facilitates in various types of crops to be grown and is mostly found in the Deccan regions of India, that is South India, the peninsular region of India, where it covers the major part in Maharashtra, Gujarat, even in Kerala, Karnataka, and Andhra Pradesh. Well, the red soil we see, as the name itself again says, that it is red in color because of high presence of iron oxides. It is mostly formed by the weathering of crystalline rocks that are metamorphosed form of rocks of the pre-existing rocks. They are porous and friable and lacks in lime, magnesium, phosphate, nitrogen and humus, but is rich in potash. Its chemical composition, as we can see, its porosity is high because it's mostly formed out of the hard rocks, and it is so called porous because it is so called porous because the water in the red soil completely drains out. It cannot hold water for a longer time period. But there is one specific characteristic in terms of red soil, that what we see is that it very easily gets fertile, or its fertility increases quite easily when we add chemical fertilizers and irrigation practices are being made. So that means artificial agriculture becomes very productive in red soil. This soil is also very productive in terms of growing various types of crops like wheat, rice, sugarcane, tobacco, millets and cotton even. These are mostly found again in South India, where Tamil Nadu is the state where we find maximum amount of red soil. Now the lateritic soil, the last one of it that we see. Lateritic soil is a type of soil which is not formed by weathering of rocks or as such. It is mostly formed due to the process of leaching, which is mostly carried out by the agents of erosion. Now, leaching is a process in which the top layer of the soil is removed. Or you can say the removal of the top layer of the soil is known as leaching. And this leaching process leads to the formation of lateritic soil. Now, leaching is again a very effective method which is mostly found in the monsoonal areas with an alternate dry and wet season. Here in India, as it is affected by monsoon, we see that the temperatures are very high during the summer season, but the temperature is drastically been brought down because of heavy rainfall that occurs in India. So both the conditions are very conducive for the process of leaching to carry out, and hence a type of soil that forms is lateritic soil. This lateritic soil has a very unique characteristics that is that it can be used as a building material, as because when exposed to the air, it hardens like iron. The color of the lateritic soil is red because of the presence of iron. It is quite coarse in texture. That means it's not a fine soil and has coarser grains like pebbles and stones are mostly found in this soil. It is porous and friable. That means it cannot contain water or hold water for a long time. It lacks in lime, magnesium and potash, but is quite profitable in terms of growing plantation crops like tea, coffee, rubber and so on. This is because we have always found that tea, coffee and coffee mostly grows in the hill slopes and they grow the best. And this is why we see that lateritic soil becomes very profitable in terms of growing these plantation crops. This soil is mostly found in summits of eastern and western Ghats, because they're an elevated surface, receives very good amount of rainfall. At the same time, being located in the tropical regions, the temperatures are very high. So heavy rainfall in the summits means on the top of the plateau regions where the water flows at quite faster velocity results in the leaching process to be carried out in very high rate. So this is all about the soil class. Thank you and you all have a good day.